Hi, I'm Sarah, the designer for JewelrySupply.com. Now that we have our frame all loaded up with the saw blade, let me go over the correct way to saw metal. So these are all of the tools that we'll be using on our sawing technique. And we've already gone over how to put a saw blade into a saw frame. If you need any further help with this, please refer to our previous video, Intro to Sawing Part 1. So the saw blades that I'll be using for this are our number 1 saw blades, item number SW101. And I have one of these sitting off to the side just in case I happen to break this while I'm sawing. Now I have a 2 by 2 inch square of sheet silver right here in 16 gauge, and it's always a good idea to practice your technique first on a less expensive metal and then work your way up to sterling silver or gold. Now if you want to do any type of intricate design, have a permanent marker ready so that all you have to do is trace your design rather than make one up as you're sawing. Now after you're through cutting out your metal, use a file to file down the edges, and this is a flat file from our 12-piece filing kit, item number FL731, and I have a bench pin. A bench pin is very important whenever you're sawing, and I'll show you how instrumental it is in the next segment, and that's item number BP105. Now I also have a little bit of beeswax, and this is item number BD101. Beeswax is great because you can put it on your saw blade and it reduces friction as you're sawing. So you may want to have a little bit of this on hand as well. Now again, this is our bench pin, item number BP105. And all I've done is you have this metal insert and a clamp. You simply take the metal insert through the hole and you're going to face the tip of this towards the back of your bench pin, just like this. On the very edge of your table, simply slip that clamp underneath the lip of the table and start tightening the bench pin down. After you're done with this, your sawing will all happen right here on the end of this bench pin. One more thing to think about when you are setting up your bench pin is whether or not you're left or right-handed. If you're right-handed, set your bench pin off to the left just a little bit. The reason for that is when you hold your hand up naturally, it'll want to angle off to the left. If you're left-handed, set your bench pin off to the right just a little bit. When you hold your hand up, it'll automatically want to angle off to the right. Do this, and it'll allow you to saw much more naturally without having to force your body off to one side or the other. So I've taken my permanent marker and I've made a quick little design on here. Double check to make sure that you've used some beeswax on the saw blade. Now reminder, this reduces friction, so at any time if you're feeling a little bit of friction while you're sawing, remove the saw blade and put a little bit more beeswax on. Make sure that you have your safety goggles on too. Hold down the plate with your fingers, holding the saw perpendicular to the silver sheet, and then start sawing. Now you'll notice that as I'm trying to make this turn, I'm turning the sheet and not the saw. The sheet you can move and then just have the saw blade follow along. Now when you're nearing the edge, let up on your sawing and move a little bit slower. Just like that. If at any point in time your saw blade happens to get stuck into the plate, simply unscrew one of the wing nuts. That will release the saw blade and just release it from the sheet. Have a small brush sitting off to the side so that you can whisk away some of these metal shavings. It's never a really good idea just to inhale and blow. You might spread those shavings someplace and that's not a good idea. So this is what we're left with. And as you can see, the edges are a little bit rough. So simply take your flat file right here and you'll hold it again onto the bench pin. Now you can hold it over here, or you can work in the center. It's completely whatever makes you more comfortable. And then, just like before, even with your sawing, all of your filing is done on the downstroke. Remember, long files, not short ones. And I also have my thumb resting on the file so that I have a little bit more control with my file as I'm filing. Use this to round out any corners as well. And make sure that you flip this over and do the other side. Now, if you look down the plate, you should have a nice smooth edge. If you want to, you can also take your file and file down so that it's nice and flat as well. And there you go. And that's the introduction to sawing with metal.